Let's talk about forms in this lesson. In version 3, we had a form class built into the framework, and that allowed us to do things like this, where we open a form that posts to users, and we add a label, and then a text input, and then we close the form. So it simply provides a nice abstraction for generating all of this stuff. If I view it in the browser and I view the source, you can see what is generated is the form, the method attribute, the action, all of this messy HTML. However, the form class allows us to make it as clean as possible. Now, however, at the time of this recording, and I bet that's going to change, but at the time of this recording, Laravel 4 does not have the form class. So if I were to copy all of this and I open up my index view, I'll paste that in, and I need to make sure I update this for version 4. So I'll change this to stop. Now let's see what we get in the browser. And nope, we're going to get this error, class form not found. And that's because in the current version of Laravel 4 beta that I'm using, no form class is available. Now, like I said, I'm fairly sure that this is going to be implemented in the future. So it's possible at the time of this recording that you will have a form class. And if that's the case, I will update the article portion of this video. But until then, let's leverage Composer to bring in this functionality. We're going to use packages.org to find what we need. Now in this case, I happen to know what I'm looking for, but if you don't, why don't we maybe search for Laravel 3, and we can see, all right, here we go. We have Mido or Mado /HTML and /form. So we can see these are the ports of the original classes from version 3. Let's go ahead and pull that in. So we just need the dev master version. I'll copy that. And now I'm going to open up my composer.json file, and we're going to require that new package and update Composer. I will shut down the server and run Composer update because we've added a new package, so we need to update Composer, which will pull in that package and store it within the vendor directory. If I switch back to the terminal, you can see, yep, it's installing the form, and we can see it right here. Now, we can't immediately begin using it just yet. We have to do two more things. We need to create an alias and also reference the service provider. Now, I don't expect you to know how to do this, but luckily the documentation for these sorts of packages will give you good step-by-step instructions. If we go back to packages, let's click on the GitHub link, and this should give us step-by-step. All right, so we can see we've required it. Now we need to add the service provider. You can think of these as helpful classes that can be used for such things as resolving instances out of the IOC container. So we need to add this line right here to the config/app. So let's go ahead and do that right now, config app, and right here, all of the list of providers. Now these will automatically be loaded by Laravel, so you don't need to do anything special there. The final thing we need to do is set up an alias. So think about it, when you use things like artisan or the auth class, all of those little helper classes that we use, well, those are actually aliases to the full namespace. And we need to do the same thing if we want to use form. So if I come back, you'll see they'll give us a little snippet right here that we can paste in. Let's do that right now. And we should be all set to go now. So let's close that out. I will boot up the server again. And now, if I reload the page, you can see, well, wait a minute, this looks a little odd. Now it seems to be working, but for some reason it looks like it's escaping the output HTML. Now, to be perfectly frank, this isn't a class that I use a lot. I use the official form, but I haven't used Mado or Mido that much. So I'm a little curious why it's escaping that output. Now, Laravel will automatically do that. So I'm assuming that the way that this class was ported to version 4, it will get automatically escaped, in which case we need to go ahead and update this to use 3 braces on each side, which essentially means we are not going to be escaping. Let's go back and run it one more time, and now that seems to be working. Now, like I said, I went through this process to show you how you could go about pulling in a package, installing it with Composer, and using it in your application. Now, this video was recorded in February, but I bet in the next couple of months from the time of this recording, you're going to have a core form class that you can use that's even better than what was offered in version 3.